been a minute since I've dropped a video here, and what I noticed in the anticipation and in the what do I talk about next, um, there's been a strange sort of nagging idea that I have to speak to before I move on with whatever may come as inspiration next. And that's the idea of open prisons that I've heard someone else talk about on YouTube. So I'll let that sink in for a moment. What's an open prison? It's funny, I don't live far from an actual prison here in Fort Myers. And I just want to, I'm really curious how far away this it's a jail, actually. It's a county jail. And they call it the Fort Myers work camp. That's what shows up here. Um, which, in it's it's open to interpretation. I'll leave it at that. But um, the idea of modern servitude has not been something that has occurred to me when I see these guys actually when they're cleaning up on the streets. They wear the jumpsuits of uh, prison stripes, right? Just to bring your attention to the fact that these are people who are in jail and have lost their rights to some extent, and clean up around these streets that are under construction all the time. There's always construction around here, and this work camp, or as our sheriff so I'm not feeling much compassion for him right now, but he calls it the Marcino Motel, which is just lightens this idea that these guys are your modern day slaves. And that prison is but an 11-minute drive to the north of me. But that's not what I want to talk about. I'm not talking about a clearly codified space to hold people who have been charged or who have been convicted of crimes. I'm talking about the open prison that is the retail space of keeping humans entertained, of keeping them numb, of keeping them distracted. So there's a supermarket next to me, there's a Walmart across the street from me, a Goodwill there, and if you want to go cheaper, you can go to BJ's, which is right next to the Walmart. There's all kinds of discount retail shops. I counted about 5 to 6 different kinds of gyms right in this space. And I'm not talking about, several blocks apart. I'm talking about within this this retail area. And there's like training classes and different flavors of that. Some weird thing called Spenga, which is strength training, spin, and yoga all rolled into one. Um, there's feelings that occur to me around that, right? Someone who enjoys spinning on his own, on its own, nothing augmented, no weights or anything crazy like that. That slowly has become the evolution of spinning. There's still the purists, the spin purists like myself, who will not do weights while you're riding a flywheel. That it's just insane. It doesn't make sense. You can do things with your heart. That's all that's about. It's just about your heart rate and maintaining um, an endurance level for your VO2 max. But who wants to know about that unless they're developing muscles at the same time? And then there's yoga mixed in that. I just don't get it. I don't get it because I'm someone who does yoga for an hour and a half, and finds a lot of rich experiences within yoga. All this is to point to that this thing has been nagging that I've been wanting to talk about, which is this idea that keep the human content and distracted. Don't don't allow them to pause and think about this, like this complex that's there. Next to the supermarket, there is a liquor store, right? Something obvious like that. But there's also the sugar factories. There's a Dunkin' Donuts right in the same complex. There is something called Crumble Cookies without an E at the end. Um, Super high in calorie, high in sugar, non-nutritious stuff that satiate you for the moment that you're biting into it until you want more. That's the the thing that activates in your mind when you're consuming sugar is you want more. It never is about satisfaction. So the same can be said for the alcohol that's sold in the liquor store. Look, there are nail salons, there's like youth rejuvenation places, there are chiropractors, and no judgment for anybody who needs that in their life and who has carved away some space for something like that. But just to like see all these things conglomerated into one place, keeping us working hard um, at the office so that we go off into this complex and we're set for the day, and then we go home. And look, there's a nature preserve nearby me. I can ride bike to beautiful wetlands that you can walk in and you can find some silence, and they even have meditations there. It's all in this like 5 mile radius. It's all here. It's just so strange to have every single kind of shop that you want, every kind of retail entertainment that you want. And there's a Top Golf behind the complex, so it's right there. It's you don't have to go to a golf course. You could just go stand in some platform and chuck balls into a net that's, I don't know how many feet away. Process that. Take that in. These are all things designed against presence, against waking up to feel your body, to different degrees. Why do we need spaces that crunch together, crunch fitness here too, all these different forms of exercise that serve a purpose on their own? Why do we need that? How many layers of distraction do we need to move away from the body that we are working to maintain for this moment we're here on earth? Can you connect back to being present, being here, now? And do you need to find some other kind of way to be distracted? Do you need all these layers? Do you need chemicals? Do you need alcohol, sugar? Just be for a moment with me. One deep breath. And everything else is just a distraction, right? So all these businesses that popped up to keep you from just being. And we've lost touch with that. I know we've lost touch with that. I see it all the time. I see it all the time in the kinds of bodies that go in and out of these spaces. There's something disconnected from nature, from our natural place of being. When you choose to distract from the pain of humanity, of being human, you won't grow. You won't find the peace that you naturally are, that you could show up with to another person. So next time you see one of these complexes that stretch over a mile long and deep, with one distraction after another, for whatever flavor of distraction you want, know that within you is a power to connect to the earth, to connect to the body, and take the action that is really required in every moment. And you start with presence. And not running from things, not hiding from things, not numbing from things. Yeah. I don't think there's anything else I need to say about this. Does it make sense? Let me know. Drop a comment in the chat. Feel free to engage with me. If you find yourself struggling with presence and being with others, some kind of anxiety arises, you can even book a call with me. I just became an integrated attachment theory coach, so we can dig deep into core wounds and attachment styles that are your programs, your unconscious programs, and feel what it's like to clear all the things that you would rather just numb. Like there's a way to metabolize it and turn it into something that helps you, that supports you in life. Okay, this gave you something to think about and you want to hear more, please like and subscribe. You'll see this appear in your feed more. And I promise to return with more frequent videos now that I've vented this thing that was just bothering me once I became aware and noticed, like, oh my gosh, do we really need that many choices? All right, thank you.